I'm going to look at downloading a track from a BANDHUG and applying some reverb and delay effects to it. So we go into Studio and we right click on the track that we want to modify, and from the drop down menu we click on Save Video As. So that will download just the video without audio, but we're going to need that, so do that. And we also download the audio by right clicking on the sound bar anywhere, right click and Save Audio As. My computer's set up for Danish language, so but this is Save Audio As. So do that, you'll end up with two files, a video file which will be an MP4 file and an audio file which is an OGG file, and I've already done that. So let's have a look. I created a folder called Vox1 and I've placed both the MP4 and the OGG file. We're going to use Audacity to open the OGG file, that's the audio file, and I'm currently running version 2.3.3, which I think is the current one, and that's the audio track. Let's have a quick listen to it. Now, the other thing you may want to do is at the same time, well, just to be aware of it, have a look at the waveform and see if it's a very small waveform, there's going to be some volume issues. In this case, it looks pretty good. I have this app called VU Meter that I use to check the volume level of different tracks, so you can look that up and set it to the right output. You see the needle and that's actually a pretty good level. That's a good sound level for mixing tracks in BANDHUG. So we're not going to touch that. We're just going to apply some effects. There may be it may be necessary to amplify the sound after we apply all the effects that we plan to use, and if that's the case, then we can easily do that later. But for now, let's just focus on adding some effects to it. Now there's a couple of things you could do. You could just select the whole track, select all, or you could select specific parts of the track and apply your effects or changes. In this case, I've already listened to the original track. It sounds like there's a fairly consistent reverb and delay throughout the whole track, so we're just going to apply the effects to the whole track. I can just go select all. Okay, go to effect and we're going to apply reverb first. There are a few settings you can change here in reverb. I tend to just use the factory presets. There are a few of them. If you click on manage and go to factory presets, you have this whole list of different reverb settings that you can set. So I've already done that, so I'm just going to click OK, wait for it to apply the reverb, and let's have a quick listen. That already sounds like something that we can work with in a final mix, but the original actually has a little bit of delay, so I would like to apply that to this track also. Again, I'm going to select the whole track because the delay that I've listened to in the original is it seems to me it sounds to me like it's applied throughout the whole song. So I'm just going to select the whole track, and I'm going to go back to effects, and go down to delay. Now there's you'll have to experiment with this. I tend to try to figure out what the beats per minute is for that particular song, and I try to apply a delay time value that matches the beats per minute. In this case, I've found it to be around 0.61, so we'll go with that. And the delay effect in the original track is very subtle, so it's kind of like a yeah, it's like a faint delay that you can barely hear. So I'm going to apply a delay level of -18 decibels, and that's quite a lot. If you want like a really echoey type of effect, you would probably use less than that, like 10 or sorry, -10 or -6 decibels. But in this case, it's only a very subtle delay echo that we can hear, so it's quite a lot of reduction in sound amplitude. So they're the only two things that I changed: the time and the echo volume. In this case, I'm going to allow duration to change. I'm going to say yes. You'll have to experiment with all these settings. And the number of echoes, I've chosen 12. I could probably go with 10. It's not going to make much difference because there's such a big drop in volume. So by the time it gets to 3 or 4 echoes, you're not going to be able to hear the remaining echoes. So yes, okay, and let's have a quick listen.
Niseni in un înger, niseni in un înger a decăzut și sângerează în taina pe cămașa albă a lui Isus și sângerează vise.
So, I'm just gonna stop. So I'm happy with that. I think that's pretty close to the effects that I can hear in the original. I may be wrong. I'm not an expert, so we're just going to go with that.
Niseni in un înger, niseni in un înger a decăzut și sângerează în taina.
It looks like it by applying these changes, overall track volume has changed a little bit. It's probably a little bit more consistent throughout the whole track, so we're not going to touch that. I'm quite happy with that level. So the only thing we have left to do is export this track as an MP3. Export as MP3, so that was going too fast maybe. File, export as MP3, and I'm going to put it in the what happened there? I'll try again. File, export, MP3, temp, Vox 1. I'm going to save it here. I'm going to call it Vox Reverb delay. Save. Okay. So far we've only made changes to the OGG file, which is the audio track. I'm going to close this. No, I'm not going to save that. So here is my MP3 that we just saved. Let's have a listen. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to merge this MP3 audio file with our original MP4 video. So this video file doesn't have any audio. This is the one that we downloaded by right-clicking on the video track. For that, I use AVI Demux. So have a look here. AVI Demux 2.7.6. You can see the URL where you can download that from. Okay. Now, the first thing I do when I open this up, I change the output format from MKV Muxa to MP4 Muxa. So MP4. Then I select, actually I can just drag and drop the original video file, which has no audio, and I then go to sound or audio. I can't remember what it looks like in English, but this means audio or sound. Choose track. I'm going to choose track 1. I'm going to add a soundtrack, and here is my MP3 file that I downloaded in my box 1 folder. Double click, click OK, and click save, and choose where you want to save the file to. Box 1. Okay, I'm gonna call it box 1 edited. Save. Done. That's how quick it is. So now we've got an MP4 video plus audio file that should have has the effects that we applied to it. So back on BANDHUG, I'm gonna move the original track into draft. Okay, move to draft. So I clicked on the X on the top right corner, and then I clicked on move to draft. This takes a few seconds. And it'll refresh in a moment. Okay, so now we're going to add tracks. We're going to say, because this is not my track, I'm going to choose the BT backing track file, which doesn't apply a label. If this is your own track, you can use user track. If it's somebody else's track, you should use backing track file, and that will stop BANDHUG from applying a label to it. Upload from your computer, and I just normally do this. I'll get my edited MP4 and I move it to the blue upload button and I drop it there. So this takes a few seconds again. This is finished, it's gonna take us back to the studio main page, where I will then edit the edit info on that track to see, because we chose the backing track option to stop BANDHUG from applying a label of my name on that track. So now what I do is I click on the wrench and then click edit info. I'm going to say it's vocals. You don't have to select the talent, but it's specified that it's a user track, and type in the name Alexa and save changes, and that's it. You would then have to go in and figure out your sync correction in DAW, and publish. Set your sync corrections, set your volume levels, and publish. So I hope that helps. I think that covers what I wanted to show you. So yeah, try that, and thanks for watching.